Welcome to Attic Raiders Retro Reviews, where today we're in the jungles of deepest, darkest Africa. Or is that the deserts of South America? Or possibly even the Atlantic Ocean? Or the time of the dinosaurs? Find out more about that later in this game that doesn't really know where it wants to be. Today we're looking at the game Bridge Busters, which was released by Tyco Games in 1990. Bridge Busters. It's the game that's Dynamite, and quite literally, it is the game that's Dynamite. Dynamite was released in 1988 by Parker Brothers. It was also re-released in 1992, again by Parker Brothers, with slightly different package art. It was also released as Dynamite by Tomy Active. Now that one's harder to put a date on, but other Tomy Active games came out around 1994, so that's probably when that came out.
Now, the Tomy Active version is probably the most interesting variant because they've got completely different colours of plastic and different sticker art on the board itself. You can see they've gone for crocodiles in the river here, and if you look closely you can actually see that they've just got the exact same sticker repeated 4 different times.
This version was brought out by Tyco Games, so it's probably a UK exclusive. If you look at the box art, this girl is looking like she's having way too much fun. I think she's going to become a pyromaniac when she's older. Roll the dice, build a bridge, or push the plunger and blow it up. First safely back to base wins the game. And that's where things really fall down. There's no real story or narrative to why you're doing what you're doing in this game. You have to start at the beginning, go round the board and get back to where you started from. And that's it. There's no treasure to discover. You have to build bridges and you have to blow them up. But there's no real reason why you're building bridges, and there's no reason why you're blowing them up either. I think the company just came up with a really interesting game mechanism, but didn't really think about why you would be using it story-wise. But the game mechanism is seriously fun, and that kind of makes up for the lack of narrative.
Now, let's take a closer look at these 4 danger zones and the artwork on here. I absolutely love the artwork on here. These stickers, all of them, including the safety towers and the dynamite ones on here, these were all from a sheet which was included in the box, so they've all been applied by the user, by the buyer, rather than the factory. So you might find that if you get a copy of this game, some of them might be a little bit wonky, a little bit squint. This one's not quite lined up properly here, but the rest of them I've lucked out and they look really good. The one problem with these danger zone stickers is they're kind of all over the place. There's no theme that ties them all together apart from lots of deadly creatures. Considering that this game is supposed to be just the one location, these stickers we'll have a look at in a moment, they are set all over the world and all throughout time.
Down here in this deadly desert, which is full of cacti, we've got a tarantula who's missing rather a few eyes. We've got a poisonous Gila monster. We've got a rattlesnake here, and we've got a scorpion. Now, all of these guys are from South America. Moving down to this danger zone here, we've got a crocodile, we've got a very angry looking rhinoceros here, we've got a cobra, a gorilla who I would not like to mess with, we've got a lion, and we've got 2 plants here. I think Audrey 2 better look out. But these guys, these are from Africa, these animals, and it looks like some kind of African rainforest. And in this danger zone, we've gone back in time to the time of the dinosaurs. We've got a T-Rex or Allosaurus here. We've got some kind of pterodactyl, Brontosaurus or Diplodocus here, and a Triceratops. Now, even though some of these guys are actually herbivores, I don't think I would want to mess with them. Reminds me of the Dinosaurs Attacks trading cards, which were not appropriate for children, but they were quite famous for having, apart from being very gory, they had lots of dinosaurs who were vegetarians eating people. Worth checking out, but I'm not going to put any pictures here in case there's any children watching this video at the moment. And in this danger zone, we've travelled to the oceans. We've got a great white shark, we've got an octopus, a lamprey here, and some kind of sea serpent. Now, all of these would be found in the Mediterranean or the Atlantic.
Now, as I said, it's a problem that they're kind of all over the place, but I have to say I prefer this sticker art and this coloration to the previous one that I showed you, which was just a river with crocodiles in it. Maybe if it had better quality artwork, that one might have worked out nicely, but this just looks superb. I love these 4 different danger zones and the different crazy, angry, deadly looking creatures in here. Now let's take a look at the sculpt on this game board, because there's actually some really nice details on here. Obviously we've got the main Dynamite charger blaster in the middle. Now that's got, look at this, it's got screw details with the wires going down to where I suppose where the individual sticks of dynamite are. So all along these, underneath where you slot the bridges in, you've got sticks of dynamite. We've got bundles of dynamite underneath each bridge section so that those are ready to blow the bridges sky high. And in the middle, we've got a barrel sculpted in here. Turn this round a bit. We've got a kind of wooden crate over here of supplies around with the dynamite. We've got rocks in here and we've got more rocks in here. So they've really done some nice detailing on this. Bricks on these safety towers, and it looks really nice. And you can see here we've got our game pieces. We've got our die and we've got our 4 different color character tokens. Our die is a normal 6-sided die, but it only goes up to 3. The other 3 sides of the die are explosions, and if you roll an explosion, you are going to have to press down the plunger and blow up the bridges. Our tokens are little explorers. You can see here on the green one, he's kitted out in stereotypical, let's say 1920s, 1930s rainforest explorer outfit. He's got his shorts on, he's got long socks, big boots, he's got his rucksack here with his bedroll, he's got a little pith helmet on, make sure he's safe, and a very, very determined looking expression on his face. He is ready to set off into that jungle, build those bridges, and blow some up. Now, let's take a look at this ingenious dynamite explosion system. So we can remove the handle, and then I'm going to turn it upside down. Now you can see that there are 4 panels here which are used for exploding the bridges. Now normally they would be held in a position like this just by gravity, but because I've got it upside down, gravity is pulling them down into the position it would normally be in to explode the bridges out to the bottom. Let's take a look at the random mechanism by opening this up. So I've completely unscrewed it now, and if I remove this white panel, you can see inside. Now here are the sections that explode each of those 4 different bridges. If we remove those, when you press the plunger down, the mechanism turns this spindle, which will select one of these pegs in the upright position, and that will select which one of these panels gets flipped and explodes the pieces of the bridge out of there. Now the actual gameplay itself is really, really simple. Each player chooses a color token and places their color token onto the safety tower that matches that color. To start the game, the youngest player goes first, and then we go in a clockwise direction. Let's just go with the blue for example's sake. He rolls a 2, he has to put down 2 bridge pieces and then move to the end of the bridge. On the blue player's next shot, if he gets a 3 now, he's got to put down 3 bridge pieces. 1, 2, 3. And he moves 3. So he goes 1, 2, 3. The safety towers don't actually count on the die roll, so we don't get to go onto these at this point. If it was the blue player's turn again, he gets a 1. He's going to put 1 bridge piece down and move on 1. On the blue player's next go, if he gets a 2, we put down 2 pieces of bridge, and he moves on 2. Now, because he's landed on the last one before the safety tower, he then gets to hop up onto the safety tower, and even if these get exploded, he is now safe. Of course, if you roll an explosion symbol, you've got to use the dynamite and you've got to blow something up. Now, these guys, in this case, if there's anyone on these bridges, they would be out. Well, they'd have to go back to the safety tower at the start of the bridge. This guy over here, because he has just fallen off but wasn't on a bridge, he just gets to hop back up on there. And I'm going to clear these out the way, but this piece of bridge can still stay there because it's still in the game. Now, of course, you're never actually going to have your game set up like this when you're playing. Reason for that is, well, you'd be able to get all the way around and back to the beginning and you'd have won the game. So nobody's ever going to have it set up with all the bridge pieces in. But the best thing about this game is the explosions. So for the best demonstrations, we need all the pieces in because that's when it looks the coolest. Let's see. Let's just blow stuff up. Here we go. Who's going to go? Oh, green's gone. Oh, bridge is down. Oh, red. He's went sky high there. Oh, yellow's still in the game. His bridge piece is still standing, so he would still be in the game. Oh, he's in the water and he's definitely out of there now, though. Boom! Oh, he's still surviving. He is still in there. He would be, within the game rules, still alive. But not for long. Oh, he's still in there. Oh, he's well gone. Scorpion's got him. They're all out of there. Oh. Oh, red's gone. Oh. Oh. And that's it. A really simple game that doesn't take an awful lot of brain power, but the explosions are great fun and make it really worth playing. Tune in next time to see what we unearth next on more Attic Raiders retro reviews.